Technology transfer is an idea generation technique that involves taking how an existing product might work and transferring it over to a product completely different. S.A.M is an idea generation technique that is really helpful for us to try and build designs that are unique and creative. S.A.M stands for subtract, add, manipulate. This means that we take the product as it exists at the start and we take something away, we add something new, or we manipulate. And by manipulate we just mean things like multiply, rotate, turn things round, that type of thing. Some of the changes that you make, they might not necessarily make the design much better initially. If it doesn't make the design better, you might think that it's not a good idea to include it in your design folio, when in fact it's quite the opposite. Showing that you've thought about things and they maybe didn't work out and justifying it is actually a really valuable trait for a designer to have. So make sure you include those ideas that don't work so well along with your annotations explaining why. So let's have a go at using S.A.M with the design brief and the specification that you can see here. We're going to base this around the scenario that we are designing new waste bins for our fuel zone. You're starting from the point of the bins that are already existing, so start just by sketching that out. This gives you a chance to think about what works with this design as well. Remember, we're adding, subtracting and manipulating here. It doesn't need to be in that set order. You don't need to only use everything once. You don't need to do all of them at all. So you can see here I've added twice and then I've manipulated. I could go on and get several different versions of this design idea. What is important is that you're not just adding and taking things away just for the sake of it. Anything that you do should be related back to at least one of your specification points, so keep checking with that. Your specification is your success criteria when you are designing, so keep looking back to make sure you're hitting as many of those points as you can. Another top tip when you're working on design ideas is not to waste your time drawing the entire design out all the time. You'll see that when I'm focusing on the top of the bin, that's all that I sketch out and I leave the bottom blank. This helps to stop your drawings become repetitive and boring, and also just focuses everybody's eyes on the part that you're working on. Use this technique to come up with as many unique and creative ideas as you can.